Melamid, Dr. Pasqualetti, Mr. Ausubel, Ms. Albov, distinguished participants of Geography 2050, AGS counselors and fellows, faculty and friends of Columbia University, honored guests. We are pleased that you are joining us this morning to honor outstanding contributors to geography. First, I take this opportunity to announce the winner of the 2015 AGS Council Fellowship. Please stand, Ms. Sophia Albov of the University of Montana. Congratulations. Honorary Fellowships are given to individuals who have made significant contributions to the field of geography. From 1851 to 1896, this was the only honor bestowed by the Society, and today's awards are the first in several years. Many of the recipients are among the most recognized names in geographic and exploration history. They include such luminaries as Frederick Jackson Turner, Field Marshal Lord Allenby, Louise Boyd, Carl Sauer, John Foster Dulles, Jean Gottman, Evelyn Pruitt, Alexander Melamid, and Daniel Burston. And now, Mr. Jesse Ausubel. Jesse, will you please join us at the podium? Mr. Ausubel is director of the program for the human environment at Rockefeller University and concurrently affiliated with the Sloan Foundation, where he was instrumental in the creation and completion of the Census of Marine Life. Earlier, he worked for the National Academies, National Research Council, and National Academy of Engineering. Mr. Ausubel was a main organizer of the first United Nations World Climate Conference and led climate research at the International Institute for Applied Systems Analysis. He has authored more than 150 articles, reports, and books, including Climate Change, which was the first comprehensive review of the greenhouse effect, and Toward an International Geosphere-Biosphere Program. He helped establish the International Deep Carbon Observatory. Educated at Harvard and Columbia Universities, Mr. Ausubel serves on several editorial boards and is a university fellow at Resources for the Future and an adjunct faculty member of the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. This framed certificate, embossed with the original seal of the American Geographical Society of New York, is a token of our respect and appreciation for you. Thank you very much. Does the medal honor the recipient, or the recipient honor the medal? I've chaired the honors committees of 3 different geographic associations. Always, the deliberations begin with who most deserves this fine award and finish with who most enhances the stature of this award. Today, the American Geographical Society acknowledges the exceptional career and valued contributions of a great American geographer. By his acceptance, Martin J. Mike Pasqualetti graciously shares his sterling reputation, scholarship, and leadership in perpetuity. This medal acknowledges the legacy of Alexander Melamid, the generosity and forethought of Ilsa Melamid, and their joint commitment to better geographic understanding of human culture and its various modes of dependence on Earth resources. The Melamid name alone brings an aura of excellence that ensures this medal's stature and extols Mike Pasqualetti and all of those yet to be named scholars who will receive it in years to come. Professor Melamid was a stalwart of the American Geographical Society for 26 years. He joined the council in 1975 and became one of its longest-serving members ever. He was vice president for 12 years and chair of the honors committee for 7. His extensive contacts abroad contributed significantly to the international breadth of AGS honors. In 1991, we in turn honored him with the Samuel Finley Breeze Morse Medal, which is given for the encouragement of geographical research. He was a world-renowned expert on the petroleum industry and the geography of the Middle East. His legacy lives on with the Alexander and Ilse Melamid Medal. We are especially pleased to have Ilse, who also happens to be the artist who designed this exquisite medal, in the audience. Ilse, will you please stand? Thank you. We take enormous pride in the luster that AGS itself brings to this and all our medals, honors, and awards. We've been recognizing and encouraging geographic research for 164 years. Our mission is to promote geography in business, government, science, and education. Our goal is to enhance the nation's geographic literacy so as to engender sound public policy, national security, and human well-being worldwide. Since 1851, AGS has been a leading advocate for geography in the United States and around the world. We continue unabated in our efforts to advance geographical understanding. We stand for better analysis and decision-making in business and government based on better understanding of how real-world geography affects society, resources, infrastructure, economics, and politics. We stand for better science and education based on explicit recognition of the spatial and temporal context that shape the real world and influence how it works. The need has never been greater than today. Now, Dr. Doug Sherman, Chairman of the AGS Honors Committee, will read the citation.
Good morning. It's my distinct honor as chairman of the American Geographical Society Honors and Awards Committee to read the citation for the Alexander and Ilse Melamid Medal. For more than 4 decades, Martin J. Mike Pasqualetti has been concerned with the geographical aspects of energy supply, delivery, development, and security. He holds his professorship in the School of Geographical Sciences and Urban Planning at the Arizona State University, where he's also a senior sustainability scientist in the Julie Ann Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability and co-director of the Energy Policy Innovation Council. His expertise is internationally recognized, and he's consulted and advised concerning the social context of energy development and security for government agencies in the United States, Mexico, Canada, Scotland, Singapore, and Abu Dhabi, to name a few. He's published 6 books, more than 60 scholarly articles on widely divergent aspects of energy, including the development of nuclear power, the decommissioning of nuclear power plants, the development of geothermal power, the cases for and against wind power, and the issues of energy security. Professor Pasqualetti is a native of California, born there in 1945 in San Francisco. His interest in geography was piqued during his teenage years as a product of road trips across the U.S. with his uncle with a handy supply of topographical maps. As an undergraduate student across San Francisco Bay in the University of California, his roommate covered their walls with maps. When Mike discovered that this was about being a geographer, it led to a quick change of majors out of his business program into geography. He graduated from Berkeley in 1967. This change cost him an extra year of his studies, cost his parents as well. He said he didn't really notice the extra year, but that was Berkeley and it was the 1960s. He then followed one trail of the Berkeley School of Geography to LSU, where he earned his master's degree in 1969, completing a thesis on the fishing economy of Lake Chapala in Mexico. During this time, he also took a seminar from John Kirkland Wright, who was an American Geographical Society legend, including being a former director, who was visiting LSU at the time. After that, Mike moved back west to take up doctoral studies at the University of California at Riverside, where he studied the land use conflicts associated with geothermal energy development in the Imperial Valley. This was under the supervision of Homer Ashman, who was also in the Berkeley tradition. Mike finished his PhD in 1977. At about the same time, he began to influence decision-making and improve understanding of the societal aspects of energy with products such as his 1979 report to the U.S. Department of Energy entitled Energy Choices and Social Change in Arizona. We see this theme expanded in later publications such as Landscape Permanence and Nuclear Warnings, published in the Geographical Review, or Morality, Space, and the Power of Wind Energy, published in that same journal. His body of research has established an enviable reputation as an international leader in the geography of energy. From 1990 to the present, he's been in demand as a consultant. He developed the concept of an eco-watt that was the core of an educational program called In Concert with the Environment, which reached millions of K-12 students. In putting his personal effort behind his commitment to energy efficiency, for the past 38 years, he's biked to work, totaling more than 20,000 miles. He calculates that this locational decision has avoided the emission of about 7.5 tons of carbon dioxide. I haven't checked those figures. Dr. Pasqualetti is an Arizona State University Honors Research Professor. He's a founding member of the Board of Directors of the Arizona Solar Center. He's an associate editor of the Journal of Integrative Environmental Research. He sits on the editorial boards of 6 other scholarly journals and a publication series on energy and society for West Virginia University Press. He's been a member of advisory panels to the U.S. Congress, Office of Technology Assessment, the Natural Resources Defense Council, the U.S. Department of Energy, the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and the National Wind Coordinating Collaborative. He was appointed by 2 Arizona governors as chair of the State Solar Energy Advisory Council. He supervised more than 25 graduate students, many of whom will follow along the path that he's helped establish. Professor Mike Pasqualetti has dedicated his academic career to the study of the geographical intersection between energy and society, matching the Alexander and Elsa Melamid designation for outstanding work in the dynamic relationship between human culture and natural resources. And now I ask that Dr. Pasqualetti, Mr. John Gould, the chairman of the American Geographical Society, and Dr. Dobson join me for the presentation. Therefore, for these reasons and more, on behalf of its grateful members, worldwide scholars, and all those who recognize the importance of excellence in geographical research and exploration, the American Geographical Society honors Dr. Mike Pasqualetti by presenting him with the Alexander and Elsa Melamid Memorial Medal for outstanding work on the dynamic relationship between human culture and natural resources on this 20th day of November in the year 2015 in New York City. Congratulations, Mike. And now, Mike, would you like to say a few words?
As Lori was talking about lightning and brevity, I was thinking of professors and few words. I'm not quite sure they go together either. I stand before you first to express my thanks and appreciation. Thank you, John and Doug and Jerry, for your kind words and all that you do to support the American Geographical Society. And thank you especially to Alexander and Ilsa Melamid for their support and contributions to the AGS and the medal that bears their name. And I also stand before you the opportunity to provide a brief reflection on why I am even here and why I am before you, the interruption of lunch. And to muse on the reality that I have been a geographer for so long that I used to reach in my pocket for a comb, and now I reach in and pull out glasses. I've always believed that geographers are born, not made. At least that is certainly true for me. Indeed, being a geographer was my destiny, and being a geographical teacher and instructor was my calling. Now, why do I believe that that is true? There are 4 events that stand out, which I've named Cardinal, Raft, Map, and Jam. Cardinal. I've always needed to know where I am in space, where I am in relation to the cardinal directions. I have always been uneasy in a place until I could get my bearings. It is amongst my earliest memories. Raft. At Berkeley in 1966, having been set adrift by the crew of the USS Marketing and Accounting, I was clinging to a life raft in heavy seas. And just as I was about to lose my grip and slip beneath the waves, geography reached over and pulled me in. For almost 50 years since, I have tried to repay the debt. And I have loved every minute of it, reading, writing, traveling, and professing the importance of geography to the understanding of culture and energy resources. Map. While the Alexander and Ilse Melamid Medal has been awarded to a certain Pasqualetti, it is as much deserved by a person with the same last name, my partner in everything worthwhile, that I have accomplished for over 44 years, my wife, Marianne. Please raise your hand. Who chose this wonderful tie. Why is she a part of my destiny? Because before we married, she was Mari Ann Williams, initials M.A.P., M.A.W. After we married, she was Mari Ann Pasqualetti, initials M.A.P. Not only have I always loved maps, I married one. By the time my dissertation was accepted, I was already looking for a job. In April 1977, my old friend from Louisiana State days, Malcolm Como, wrote to tell me that there might be a faculty opening for an energy geographer at ASU. It turns out that their present expert, Dr. Reed Wagstaff, was going to change professions and leave to work in his wife's family business. Had he not made that choice, I probably would not be here today. Dr. Wagstaff's wife's family name is Smuckers. That's the jam part. I will close by saying that having worked within the Academy for almost half a century continues to be a wonderful, if sometimes medieval, experience. So it is with great pleasure that I accept the Alexander and Ilse Memorial Medal in recognition of my work at the nexus of human culture and energy resources, and in recognition that the Hebrew word for Melamid is teacher. I plan to proudly wear it around my colleagues until they run me out of town. Thank you.